Hi, this is Erica Smith and my screencast on using Flipgrid and Screencast. Why should teachers consider integrating Flipgrid and Screencasts in their classroom and the curriculum? First, it engages students. It helps them to engage with the curriculum, the teacher, and each other. And when they're engaging with each other and the teacher, they're able to build a positive classroom community with discussions, learning about their classmates, depending on the assignments that the teachers give. And most importantly, every voice is heard, even the silent ones. They are, in a sense, lovingly forced to participate when they otherwise may not. How can Flipgrid and or screencasts be utilized in the classroom and the curriculum? So for teachers, the beginning of the school year, they could introduce themselves before the students come into the classroom. They could do reflections on assignments along with the students, and I think that would be very powerful to use for the students to be able to see the teacher reflecting. It can be used for tutorials, teaching them how to do something that was taught in class. For example, if they're learning about a new math skill, the teacher could do a tutorial using Screencast that the kids could access at home with their parents. I'm in 5th grade, and the 5th grade math is very hard, and a lot of parents struggle with helping their kids with Common Core math, and I think having a tutorial where the parents can look at it and the student can look at it and they can figure the problems out together when they're working on homework at home. Providing feedback to students, checking in with the students, just to see how they're feeling personally, how they're doing with the work, and maybe if there's an area of need, something that they're struggling with, that's their platform where they could voice that to the teacher and the students could even respond to that and maybe help them. For review, so if they're getting ready for a test or just review of the day's lesson, again, they can use that at home. It pretty much can be used for all subjects. The teacher can use it to introduce projects and assignments. That's very similar to what you both did for this course at the beginning of each module, going through and doing a screencast and showing us the module, and the same idea would apply to doing it for an assignment or project. Connecting with parents, so connecting with parents in various ways, so posting, like I talked about, the tutorials of how to use math and review, and if they miss back to school night or PTA meeting, this could be a way that you could give them that information in a quick video rather than just a document that they probably wouldn't read. And for testing, every year we always ask parents to write a letter of encouragement to the students, and then they give it to us, and then we give it to the student on the morning of the test, and they just have it with them every day, and they're able to look at it. And then kids that don't have the parent write them a letter, the teachers write them a letter, and nobody knows who their letter is from. They just all get a letter that encourages them. So instead of you doing a letter, we could do a Flipgrid video. And then collaboration. I'm not really sure how this could happen, but the TED Talk video by his name, David Weston, really talked about teachers collaborating with each other, and so did the first video. Just teachers collaborating with each other and sharing ideas and having that time for collaboration. And I think that this might be a way to do so, as David and Carl suggested in their TED Talks. So how can Flipgrid and Screencast be utilized for students? Students can do introductions at the beginning of the school year and meet each other that way. I already do a lot of introduction activities, so this would be a nice fun change. Students can reflect on projects. I really like the Flipgrid integration docs because it gave an example of evaluating others' projects, and that made me think, well, they could evaluate their own project and their own progress. They can evaluate the project and the progress of other students, but as well as the teacher. They could give feedback to the teacher about the project, so if they feel like there's something that they could improve on, then the teacher can implement that. And again, similar to what Carl talked about in his TED Talk, Teachers as Change Agents. How-to presentations. I always do how-to presentations at the end of the school year after testing is done. It's a really fun activity, and the kids always love it. They get to pick whatever they want and to teach to the class, and they could do this using Screencast or Flipgrid. Conducting an interview, they could do reading responses, Genius Hour and 20% time. This could be another way that they could incorporate Screencast and Flipgrid and present their findings, or presentation and speeches. I think this one's really important. At the beginning of February, I had my students present their prominent African American figure that they did their research on, and I had 2 students break down crying, and I just felt really bad. And if I would have had them use Flipgrid or Screencast, they would have been more successful. They still presented, but it was just really hard for them at the first time around. And then evaluating projects I've already talked about, so their self and peers. I also really liked this tool here because I'm a very visual person, and having this laid out like this and chunked into categories is very, very helpful. So, and you could just go to a video. So if I go to show your work underneath math, click on it and it takes you to the screencast that they already have there. So I actually saved this in my work folder just so that I could access it throughout the school year. So that is my presentation on how to use Flipgrid and Screencast in the classroom. And there's just a lot of possibilities to use it for all the projects, no matter what you're working on. And either one of them would allow the students to use it in PBL or IBL. Thank you.